Hello, I'm Elizabeth and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make the King Kong roll. So this roll is something I created the same day that I was making a Godzilla roll, and since there's Godzilla movie, there's King Kong, I figured they go together. So with this particular roll, it is fried. Yes, fried. And in everything in Texas, we find a way to fry something. So in all Texas fashion, this is a fried roll, and in doing so, we're going to first start with creating the roll. Then we're going to roll it in a tempura batter, panko breadcrumbs, and then fry it on the stove. I'm going to take you along on this journey. So we're going to start with our nori sheet, a full-size sheet. We're going to work on the rough side. Our rice is going to be on the outside, our filling on the inside. So I'm going to dip my fingers into the sushi rice vinegar. I'm going to pick up a handful of rice. This sushi rice, if you're looking for a recipe or a how-to guide on how to make sushi, buy the sushi rice, go ahead and click the link below for that information. We have a video to help you. And so we're going to move this rice around to all the edges. With this particular roll, I'm not going to put sesame seeds on the outside. Since I'm frying it, there's really no need for that. It's not going to be seen. Now that that's done, we're going to flip this over. Oops. Hands are all sticky again. There you go. It's that easy. Okay, for our ingredients, I have raw tuna, raw salmon. I picked this up in the sushi market and it's marked for sushi. I just don't go pick any tuna or any salmon. I go to the seafood section and I talk to them and I ask for the one that is for sushi grade. And then I'm going to use imitation crab meat. It's pre-shredded. You can buy it pre-shredded this way or you can shred it yourself. And then we have the tempura shrimp. So here we have the tuna. And the tuna, I like to dip it in a little bit of the sushi vinegar, the rice vinegar, and a light soy sauce. Add a few more pieces. Nice and thick. Next, I'm grabbing the salmon. And the salmon again, I put that in a light soy sauce and a little bit of rice vinegar on it before I put it inside a roll. As you can see, this is a very thick roll. All right, very generous right there. Put that down. And I'm going to go ahead and roll this forward. And squeeze. And I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. Now I'm going to grab the tempura shrimp. And cut the little piece off right there. That here, cream cheese. So it's a very thin slice. I like to put the cream cheese with the shrimp that's breaded. It helps add moisture. There we go. And then I'm going to use the imitation crab meat. I mix this with Japanese mayo. You have to be careful not to overfill, otherwise the seam will not close. So this is pretty close to the edge. All right. So then we're going to roll and squeeze to the ends. Check your seam. Looks good. Push, roll. Nice, good, tight seam. There we go. We're going to make sure we have this seam side down. So I'm going to just tap the ends, push that stuff back in, and we're going to put this into the batter. So now that we've rolled it, I took the shrimp ends off because we're going to fry this, and I didn't want somebody to bite into one of the tail ends of the shrimp. So we're going to place this into the tempura batter. There's a recipe and video link for how to make the tempura batter. And then we're going to roll it in the panko breadcrumbs. It gets very messy. And we're going to take it over and fry it. So I use chopsticks and a metal tongs for this. So dip my fingers. I'm going to roll this. And the reason I'm using a long pan is so that it'll fit the entire roll. And I want to get the ends so it's nice and covered. Now I'm going to move this over to the breadcrumbs. Start at one end and roll it forward. Okay, and then I want to put this on the ends. Pat it in. Tap, tap, tap. And we have it. Now we're going to move this over to the stove. So I'm using chopsticks and tongs to drop that in. You don't want to drop it. You don't want oil splashing against you. So go ahead and keep an eye on it. And this only takes a few minutes on each side. So we're just wanting to brown it, not cook the interior. Alright, so now we are at the next stage of the King Kong roll. I fried this roll in the pan. If you have a deep fryer, you remember it was at 350 degrees when you fried it to a light brown color. Next, you had to let it cool down so you don't burn your fingers. So now it's at the stage where I can touch it with my fingers without being burned. And the longer you let it cool, the more the cream cheese will kind of firm back up because it's nice and soft. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this and transfer it to the cutting board. Slice right through. It's a nice thick one. There you go. So if you cook this to a darker brown, I noticed it cooked the meat all the way. So my goal was to have a light color. 2, 3, yeah. For me, the end pieces are always hard to cut. There we go. I'm going to clean the knife off. This has too much buildup. It starts adding a resistance. Make sure that you don't cut yourself as you're doing this. Nice clean cuts. Keep going. Last cut. There we have it. Ooh. All right, time to put this on the plate. All right, the next step is the sauce. So let me pick this up and bring it closer. I'm too short. Going to start with a sweet sauce. You can find the link to this down below. Next is the Wasabi Mayo. So I put this in a smaller container so it's easier for me to drizzle. And last, just a little of the regular mayo. And finishing touch is the masago. So each stair step, a little masago. I was going to do black. Oops. Come on. There. Last black one, and now the green. So with the little flying fish roe, kind of transforms you into a place of being at the actual sushi restaurant. It elevates your little homemade sushi roll to the next level. At least that's what I've been told. Kind of gives you that memory of being in the sushi restaurant. So there you go. We have our King Kong roll. Here we have the King Kong roll. If you would like to see more of our videos, please hit the subscribe button and put in the comments if you would like to see a particular roll or a certain combination that you've been thinking of. I'd like to hear from you. Thank you for watching.